I never thought that I would be a fitness coach. I was never athletic. I've never taught people. I never thought that I would throw my own events for the queer community because half of my life I've spent hiding that part of me. Like, I never in a million years thought that I would be a professional DJ and get paid gigs. I thought I was just going to play music for my friends. I think alignment for me goes hand in hand with growth. Like, you never know how much you can grow if you're not open to different possibilities.
Yeah.
And if it's making me feel a certain way, if it's bringing me some sort of fulfillment or joy, then I have to follow that.
Welcome to Closer to You, the podcast. On this podcast, we're exploring how we find alignment through creativity, community, experiences, and connection. This podcast is recorded at Music City Star Factory in San Francisco. We're here to welcome our guest, Krista, aka NA TALIE.
Yay! I'm so excited to be here.
We're very excited to have you. You are one of the most energetic people that I know. And with lots of energy comes lots of happiness, lots of joy, and there's a lot of work that goes into that.
Oh, yes.
You are a Bay Area-based DJ.
I am.
You're a graphic designer.
I am.
And you are also one of the co-founders of Sapphic Sundaze.
That I am too, yes.
So lots of different creative pursuits. How did you start as a creative?
How did I start as a creative? I don't know. I think I have to go back all the way to my childhood. I remember I had one of these books in elementary school that, you know, you list out like your goals and ambition. And they're like really simple things like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And like, where do you want to live? And all these stuff. And then I remember on that book, I put artist. Artist is very broad, but it was still something that I've always just wanted to do. I've always wanted to create, even at such, you know, like a young age. Terrible at drawing. But then, you know, growing up in the age of computers, discovering graphic design, I'm like, oh, I could create stuff without drawing. And it still looks cool. And I could get like things precise because it's a computer. So then just kind of weaseled my way into learning more about graphics and then eventually a little bit of video editing as well. My friends and I would, back in the day, go to a bunch of raves and I would make these after videos. So I would shoot a bunch of content, iPhone 4 quality or whatever, and then just edit these videos just to recap our experience for the night. It's really fun to just capture the moment and create something that I could share with others and bring them out to that moment as well. So I think that's just kind of overall like the basis of why I wanted to pursue any sort of creative facet in my life.
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea of bringing people back to that moment.
Yeah, especially with me, I have a terrible memory. So I feel like I need to capture everything to be able to remember because honestly, I wouldn't otherwise.
I feel that. Not on video, not in the mind.
Right, exactly. I have a degree in graphic design from San Francisco State. In high school, I took a graphic design class with my graphic design teacher in high school. I believe it was my senior year in high school. She knew of a job opening for the local newspaper. I went to high school in a small town, Tracy. There was a small job opening for an ad designer for the Tracy newspaper, very entry level, but she knew the person who was hiring, so she saw something in me, I guess. Honestly, I don't even remember her name. Shout out to you though, but you honestly like changed my outlook and like, oh, okay, maybe I can make this a career because I ended up applying and getting the job with my crappy little portfolio that had terrible designs on it, but I landed the job as an ad designer for the small newspaper company, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, creating ads, it's like blah work, but I was still creating something. I was still putting something together and, showing my manager and then getting positive feedback. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I get to play on computers all day and make stuff and make money out of it. That's kind of what clicked for me and made me want to decide to major in graphic design. After that job, I was like, okay, I definitely want to major in this because I feel like I'm pretty good at it. Maybe I could just keep it going.
You mentioned you had a crappy portfolio.
Oh my God.
What was on it?
It was so bad. Like high school assignments. I remember, I think we were supposed to incorporate all of these fundamentals into one design to show what all of these things mean. And mine was like, it was so bad. I can't even describe it to you. It was like literal like shapes, like oval shapes, like placed on my piece of paper, and it was like the oval shapes were the shapes of like baby penguins, but they were terrible. Like yeah, like literal, like it looked like it was an oval shape, it was a baby penguin, and then like the beak was like a triangle, and it was like so basic, but that was all I had for my portfolio. Either my interview went really well and I showed my passion through how I spoke about it, or my teacher was really looking out for me and was like, hey, you should hire her. So that I'll never know, but I'm very, very grateful for that.
Did you make any designs for fun in that time, like from high school to through college?
For fun, I think I played around with the idea of t-shirt design. I really liked the thought of creating something and wearing it. I saw that as a form of self-expression. You know those like things that you could print out on like a home printer, but then you could iron it on.
Yeah, the transfer prints.
Yeah. So terrible quality. But I remember I made, oh my gosh, I'm like, you're like unlocking a memory right now. I remember I made these headphones. There was like two, so the headphones were here, and then there was the strap part, but it was straight. And I remember I printed that out, and then I bought a hoodie, a plain hoodie, and then I put those headphones like to wrap on the hoodie. So it looked like I was wearing headphones. Again, terrible looking.
But that's such a dope concept.
I mean, yeah, it was in high school, and I did wear it. I'm pretty sure I wore it only once because when I washed it, it did not hold up. So, yeah, I think that was just like another area that I was really into. I used to follow a lot of accounts on Behance. Got very inspired by that. I mean, these were like really great designers, and I was so new. I was a little bit self-conscious with putting my stuff out there because I was so new, and I mean, let alone wearing it. But luckily I had a group of friends. They gassed me up a lot. That just kind of fueled me to just create without worrying about how good it looks. And then I think carrying that sort of support from my friends, as well as my family. I mean, my mom was very much into allowing me to follow my passion. I'm Filipina, stereotypical Filipina family. I'm so happy that my parents never forced me into nursing and let me run with my creativity. Having a lot of support in the family and outside of the family just allowed me to continue my self-expression through my creativity.
Where are you today as a designer?
I still do a lot of design with all of the many side quests that I have. I am a co-founder of this collective called Sapphic Sundaze. It's a queer party in San Jose. It's a drag brunch that we throw in San Jose, and I solely create all of the flyers. Along with my business partner, we create video edits as well. So I'm using my design hat for that part of the business, as well as my own DJ business. I'm always creating and recreating logos or cover art for any mixes that I upload. I definitely do pull from inspiration that I see online. Like if I have an idea and I don't know where to start, I'll look it up online and see how other people do it, and then not necessarily try to recreate it, but like have my own spin on it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of what keeps me fresh. I'm using design actively in almost every aspect in my life.
Are you still in the making t-shirts for friends?
For almost a decade, actually, I would make one t-shirt for my friend group every year. It was an ongoing collection. My friends and I would go to a lot of raves or events. We would just all wear matching t-shirts. The first year, we just wore a matching shirt that we found somewhere. Then the following year, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a designer. I could make something and it could be custom, specific to our group, and only our group would wear it at all of these events. So then that kind of started that. And then one of my biggest compliments, I believe it was in 2013, we were at Beyond Wonderland in Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View. We were wearing our shirt. Our group back then was called Rage Royalty. It said Rage Royalty, it had a crown, and it was like all, the print was tie-dye, but the tank top or t-shirt was black. It looked original. We were all wearing our shirts. And then this random girl, never seen her before, she came up to my friend and she was like, hey, where'd you get that shirt? And she was like, oh, my friend made it. My friend pointed that girl to me and she was like, hey, she likes the shirt that you designed. It was very heartwarming to hear somebody outside of my already supportive group show appreciation for something that I made. And then I happened to have an extra shirt too. So we got to chatting and then I was like, oh my God, thank you so much for the compliment. I actually have an extra shirt. I'll bring it to you tomorrow and you could have it. And she was so excited. Did I find her the next day? No. It is impossible to meet up with anybody if you don't have a plan for those kinds of events. But I did bring the shirt. But moral of the story is it was so heartwarming to know that people outside of my normal group actually like the things that I create. So I'm like, damn, okay, maybe I am pretty good.
I think as an artist, we love support from our friends, but there's a certain level of validation you get when it's not your friends, right? Because then they don't like my art because of their relationship with me. They like my art because they just like it.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
How did you get started in DJing?
I feel like a lot of my creativity comes from the rave days, honestly, when my friends were like deep in the party scene. I have two friends who are really into DJing, not anything professional. They just DJ'd at a lot of the house parties that we had. This was back in 2014. This is all EDM music, house music. I think the controller was a Pioneer SX. My friends would DJ at these house parties and I would get really curious because in my mind, the only perception I had of DJing back then was turntables. And that was just very daunting to me. With my friends, they had these controllers that was all electronic and everything was just like loaded on the computer. A lot easier than what I thought it would be. So I would watch them play and then they would let me hop on. Terrible transitions, like fader up, fader down. That was back in 2014 when that kind of sparked some interest. Played a little bit more at some house parties. Fast forward to 2024, saw the ad for the DJ school, the one that we met at. Mm-hmm. And then my partner, Nicole, shout out, babe. She is honestly the most supportive when it comes to my DJ interests and my DJ career. She bought me my first controller so that I could take this class. And she actually paid for the class as well, because that class was not cheap. I was unemployed back then. But she saw how passionate I was and how good I was getting at these house parties. She was like, okay, well, if you take this class, you'll have access to the community. You'll get to know more people and surround yourself and just like really level up. Because of her support, I was able to just take the class, get more professional gigs out of it, which is crazy to me. I was doing house parties, right? Terrible transitions, house parties. I never thought that I could have businesses reach out to me and pay me to play music. Are you kidding me? So I think after that, it just kind of funneled, creativity after creativity just funneled more into my DJ career, which eventually led up to me being the co-owner of Sapphic Sundaze. Honestly, all comes together. Design, DJing, hosting events, it's crazy.
It's like when you pick one thing, it doesn't end, right? It just
Yeah.
launches you to the next thing.
Yeah, seriously.
And that's what alignment is all
It
about.
is.
There's something you have in your bio, the DJ from that party. I love that. I love that. Now, you just mentioned that you've kind of gone past your original kind of focus. You've gone into businesses, you've gone into, clubs, bars, more other like higher level gigs.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is your goal as a DJ? Like when you enter a room and you're about to DJ, what do you kind of strive for?
Honestly, I just want everybody to have a good time. I'm one of the few DJs that actually likes taking song requests because it allows me to connect more with the dance floor. Some of my friends have labeled me the DJ for the people because I literally just I cater to the crowd. That's honestly really what I strive for. Like, I like watching the crowd, seeing them move, helping them even to bring them back to maybe a moment that they heard a certain song. Like, I like to play off of any sort of nostalgic song, right? I remember I was DJing at a wedding one time, and the song was We Found Love by Rihanna, banger, at a wedding, right? And I played it, the very iconic, first few bars. Like, you know what it is, right? So I started teasing it in, and then I dropped it, and then I hear loud from the crowd. I did not know where it was coming from, but somebody from the crowd said, "Oh my God, remember Vegas?" And I'm like, hell yeah, I unlocked a memory for you. And so that I strive for those kind of moments. I love bringing people together and just enjoying life in that way.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you have moments where you knew that you made it?
I remember the very first time I got booked for a paid gig. Very low paying, but nobody's ever paid me to play music before. I was like, wow, people are going to pay me to do this. That was a big moment where I was like, wow, I'm making it. Like, I'm making money sharing my my love of music with people. I think it was like $100 or something, but that's a lot for going from just playing for the homies to getting booked at a business to play for like an hour. I've been more into private events lately, like a lot of weddings. I just DJ'd a quince a couple weeks ago. It was really fun. I get most of those private events through referrals and word of mouth. Every time I'm reached out to that I don't know this person, but they're like, hey, are you available this date to play for my event? Every time that happens, I'm like, wow, people want to book me. That's why that kind of ties into why my caption on my Instagram is the DJ from that party. Because I don't have a business card. People always ask and I never have it. I do have a QR code though. So they scan the QR code and then the first thing they see is my Instagram. The line is like the DJ from that party. So like you literally cannot mistake. Like okay, yeah, this is the girl that I am trying to look for. So that's kind of where that came from. This is the type of thing that I have been dreaming of and manifesting. Even in times of dread, I have to remind myself, like, you prayed for this. You wanted people to reach out to you. I'm just very blessed. I'm trying to recognize more small moments in things that I am grateful for, whether that's my DJ career or like any other part of my life, appreciating the little things. Long story short, yes, there's been a lot of moments where I've thought to myself, I've made it.
You mentioned earlier that you see yourself and that others see you as a DJ for the people. Where do you think that stems from?
I would say, surprisingly, I'm actually a really shy person.
Okay, I don't believe that.
You're looking at me. I am a very shy person until you get to know me. In my childhood, I was shy. It was hard for me to talk to people because I was very self-conscious about just like a number of things that any adolescent person would be self-conscious about. Growing up and then finally coming into like my supportive friend group, it brought out of me like a sense of I guess, comfortability. And I recognize that, and it's like, oh, like I see both sides. I see the shy girl like wanting to be part of this group, and then I see like the group, welcoming people in. So having a friend group, and also my family is a very loud, typical Filipino family. Seeing the effect of being very welcoming and having to create a safe space for others really played a huge part in how I want to be with others as well. I always try to not only set the vibe, but also make sure everybody anywhere feels welcome. I want to know what that feels like. That's just really what it comes from. I just want to make people feel safe and that they belong there and that they could be however they want to be. My mom, RIP mom, she passed away in 2020. She was honestly the life of the party. She was the person who everybody thought that she was their best friend. And that's something that I try to carry with me every day, is to just show everyone the amount of respect and grace and just having welcoming, I guess, vibes. It's just like something that I carry with me every day. So I think that's what that comes from. So when I say that I am a shy girl, I'm shy until I kind of feel out like what the vibe is. Like I'm a room reader, I need to feel comfortable within myself too before I could, help others feel comfortable as well.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
I'm sure your mom would be proud.
I hope so.
You're keeping the life of the party going, because I think you're one of the lives of the party.
Oh, thanks.
Tell me about, how did Sapphic Sundaze start?
My business partner and longtime friend, Jay, they are a drag king based out of San Jose, hosted various parties, drag parties all over the Bay Area, and they found that the drag community, it doesn't pay very well, but a lot of the people in drag do it because they're passionate about it. So Jay had this thought like, hey, I've hosted so many parties or so many of other people's parties already, like I should probably just start my own. But they were lacking a DJ, and I'm a DJ. So they reached out to me, pitched this idea of, we didn't know what the name of it yet was, but they wanted to do a drag brunch event specifically in the South Bay, because there's not very many of those in the South Bay at all. A lot of the drag events are up here in the city, which is great, but all the people from the South Bay have to drive up here to go to them. So they pitched this idea, and I was down for it. And then it honestly just snowballed into becoming a frequent once-a-month drag brunch in San Jose. We don't charge admission because we want to make it as accessible to anybody. We don't ever want to turn away people for not being able to afford it. So it's donation based, but if you don't have the money, like, you're still welcome to come in. There wasn't really that community in San Jose yet, so we wanted to provide that for them. Coming back to, the safe space, like having it open to everybody. It is a drag brunch, so I mean, my friend and I are older 30s, so we like being home early. So we like the early gigs. We wanted to create a space for people specifically in that demographic who kind of didn't have that space before in the South Bay. So yeah, that's kind of where that stemmed from. And now it's gotten pretty crazy. Like, we've gotten a lot of drag performers even from up here reach out to us to see if they could come down there to perform for our events.
What was it like growing up lesbian in the Bay Area? How was that kind of journey for you?
I came out when I was 16 years old in high school. My family, specifically my mom, was very religious, Christian, and it was really tough. I love my mom so much. She's amazing. Unfortunately, we didn't get closer until she was diagnosed with cancer. But growing up, it was hard, you know. I grew up in a very traditional household, and then to come out at 16, I feel like is kind of young. My mom didn't understand that, and she didn't accept that for many years. So I had to hide that part of myself for a long time until my mid 20s, actually. 10 years of hiding that side of myself. My friends, obviously, they don't care, but like hiding that part of myself from my family was really hard because I love my family so much. I went to school in San Francisco, first time living on my own. I was finally able to find myself. I mean, San Francisco, what a place to be gay.
Yeah.
18 and gay, great. 18 is still very young, still trying to figure out myself. I don't think it was until mid-20s where I was able to just not really claim, but present myself as being a lesbian. Back then, I had to constantly come out to people. A lot of people thought that I was very straight presenting, so nobody kind of believed me when I came out, because sometimes coworkers, they would ask about relationships. So I would have to constantly come out like, oh no, like I'm gay, I like girls. It wasn't until like mid-20s where instead of being like, oh, actually I'm gay, it's like, oh, this is my girlfriend. And that's just like point blank. Like for myself, it was normalized. So it was definitely a long journey for me. The event that I am in partnership with Jay with for Sapphic Sundaze, this is me providing that same safe space to other people who I know that I've been in their shoes and know what it feels like to have to probably hide that part of themselves. So I think being able to give back to my community in that aspect has been very fulfilling to me. And it's like kind of a full circle moment.
By the way, just so our viewers know, Sapphic Sundaze started in March 2026, and we're now in August 2026, and it's blown up.
It's huge. It's ridiculous. We sell out every single time. Our first show was sold out, which was insane. I thought there was going to be like 12 people there, but we had to actually turn people away because of space, not because we didn't want them there, obviously, but we literally were at capacity. It's been crazy, and it's been very, very nice to be able to do something for that part of community that has been very welcoming to me.
How was it organizing Sapphic Sundaze? Like, how did it come together?
Most of our events for the drag brunch has been hosted at Hobie's Restaurant and Bar in San Jose, who are also queer-owned. Jay could talk more about this, but Jay book all of the performers because, you know, they're the drag king. I'm mainly in charge of music curation and marketing. It's been a very, very amazing partnership so far because both of us already know our lane and we're never stepping on each other's toes. We always check in with one another before we make big decisions.
Moving on to a different side quest, how did you kind of get started as a fitness coach?
Ooh. Oh man. Funny enough, I've never been athletic in high school. I was always the girl who made excuses to the PE teacher like, oh, I can't run the mile today because I'm on my period. Didn't even have any interest in doing any kind of sports in high school. And then it was 2015 or 16. I had, this is going to be so stupid, just saying it now. I had gone through a really bad breakup. And instead, I mean, I let myself be sad, sure. But instead of sulking in it, I was like, all right, I gotta get my ass up and do something and let out all of this aggression somehow. Like, I don't know how to do it. And then during that time, I actually saw an ad for this gym called Brick House Fitness in San Jose. I saw an ad. We're accepting 20 people to do our program, 8-week program, get fit. I was like, oh, this is a sign. I'm literally looking for something to do. I'm going to do it. And then so I signed up for this gym. First time lifting weights, first time running or doing any sort of activity that I chose to be there. And then I really, really enjoyed it. I think I had a lot of pent up energy. 2016 was also the time I was still, you know, yes, the bad breakup, but I was still not in the closet, but I was still hiding that part of myself, the queer part of myself from my family. I mean, my parents knew, everybody knew, but it was like a whole unspoken thing. So I had just like a lot of pent up things inside of me.
Yeah, because being like halfway in the closet is low-key worse, because then it's just like, I'm out already, but you like, guys don't care.
You know this. Like, what are you? Yeah, it is worse, actually.
Because it's like you're hiding in plain sight.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, I had a lot of things that I needed to work through, and I had just decided, okay, I'm just going to work out and see if that helps out. And it did. And I felt amazing after working out. Did this 8-week program, and then I actually signed up for a membership for the gym so that I could continue going. Yeah, that was almost 11 years ago. Fast forward. So from 2016 up to 2023, the gym owner, he was looking for help. He needed some more coaches because the classes were getting too big and he just needed extra help. And then by that time, I had been going to the gym pretty consistently and I had found a new love for fitness. Honestly, it's so weird. At the beginning of my fitness journey, when I was really starting out and really discovering how much I loved it, I had a small fleeting thought in my mind, like, I wonder if I could be a coach. And then fast forward a few years, he was looking for coaches. And I was like, if you want to train me, that'd be great. So he agreed to be my mentor in building me up as a fitness coach. So that was 3 years ago. And now I'm still doing it and I love it so much. I have so many different communities that I'm part of, like fitness community, queer community, rave scene. I think fitness is something that it's going to stay with me forever, for sure.
When you were training to be a coach, were you nervous?
100%.
What was it like coaching your first class?
Oh my gosh, it was so nerve-wracking because up until then, like all of these people at the gym have been my peers, right? It's different. Like you go from being somebody's essentially classmate in taking these fitness classes to then now I have to lead these people who are kind of better than me fitness wise. Like it's nerve-wracking. I had to figure out a way to connect with them and for them to recognize me as a coach versus just a peer. Like, is anybody even going to respect me? Like, everybody knows who I am and knows that I'm not a coach. So I had a lot of self-doubt in the beginning. And my first fitness class that I coached on my own, I was so nervous. My tone for like yelling any cues out was so monotone. I was pretty robotic. I was still learning, right? It seemed over-rehearsed, not organic at all. I went through a lot of doubt in the beginning. I'm like, dang, should I even do this? This felt really uncomfortable. I did not like that at all. Before that, I would attend these classes as a student and feel great leaving the class. And I'm like, fuck, are these people even feeling good? Like, I feel like I just brought them down with my energy. Right. So yeah, that was my very first class. But now, like, fast forward 3 years, still coaching. I love it so much. Coaching the class gives me more energy because now I get to be not only obviously help people train on form and all this stuff, but I get to be everybody's hype person. I think that's honestly my brand. Like, I just like hyping people up, you know? So
you're the life of the party, even in the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to coaching, do you have any like goals with what you want to do?
I mean, though I absolutely love group fitness classes, I do want to get mainly more into one-on-one coaching for a specific demographic. I'm finding that I really like training more senior women and helping them unlock a strength in them that they didn't know that they had. I love seeing that. Seeing a 60-plus-year-old woman pick up a heavy weight that she never thought she would be able to pick up. I love seeing her do that and being part of the person to build her up. A new goal of mine is I do want to get into coaching. I want to get into coaching more senior women, specifically helping them to unlock a new strength in them that they never knew they had is something that has brought me a lot of fulfillment in the group training classes. So I want to venture out now and do one-on-one training with older women.
For Brick House.
I help with a lot of their social media stuff, creating content, recording the content and producing it. So I not only had to create the flyers, printed flyers and online flyers for them, but the gym owner also leaned into or allowed me to help in actually guiding the challenge, like hosting the challenges as well. So I got to wear my events hat for that one. So all of these hats that I had, gotten to collect over the years kind of funnel into one another, which has been really crazy, actually, now that I think of it. Like, everything's connected.
So with all the hats that you wear, it sounds like you've been living an aligned life.
I would say so, and it took a lot to get here. It took a lot of self-discovery, self-actualization. It took a lot of grace, for sure. I used to be really down on myself. I mean, I still consider myself a perfectionist, but I'm still allowing myself to be okay if something isn't perfect. With that, it helps me be more aligned with overall vision that I have for myself versus having this narrow view. And then, the more narrow your view, the more difficult it is to have that sense of alignment, because any sort of stray from that view would be like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah. So you gotta be okay with tangents, And I think that has really reeled me into the overall picture of how I want to live my life.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm like mind blown by that visual metaphor, because I just like saw it in my head.
Yeah.
As you talked about it. If you're only looking this far, it looks like you're out of the picture. But if you're looking at it zoomed out, you're still on that path. That's really nice. What does alignment mean to you?
I think alignment for me really comes with what brings me joy and not limiting myself to where that joy comes from. Because I remember early in my fitness coaching career, I was only boxed into, I only want to do group training classes because one-on-one classes or one-on-one makes me feel uncomfortable and I don't want to be one-on-one with a person for that long. If I'm only boxed into that, and not allowing myself to experience things that make me feel uncomfortable, then I never would have discovered, like, okay, maybe I can do one-on-one, but maybe it's a specific niche, like it doesn't have to be anyone. Like I discovered that I really enjoy coaching senior women, and maybe that's something I could branch off into. And recognizing that made me feel more aligned to the overall picture that I was talking about. So I think alignment for me goes hand in hand with growth. Like you never know how much you can grow if you're not open to different possibilities.
Yeah.
And if it's making me feel a certain way, if it's bringing me some sort of fulfillment or joy, then I have to follow that. If you try something and you're like, oh, I really don't like that, then you don't have to pursue it. Mm-hmm. But I think just for myself, allowing myself to be open to it, even if it's something that I might not like, just kind of helps me progress further in just living the life that I want to live.
What is your advice to future and current creatives?
My advice, if I were to give any sort of advice to anybody creative, is really allow yourself some grace. It took me so long to allow myself to fail at certain things. Nobody likes the feeling of failing. Like, nobody likes the feeling of trying something and having it not work out the first time. But if you allow yourself to continue failing, eventually there is going to be growth from that. And eventually you will, it might guide you in a different direction where you never thought that you would be, that will give you a sense of joy and fulfillment that you never thought would give you. Like, I never in a million years thought that I would be a professional DJ and get paid gigs. I thought I was just going to play music for my friends. I never thought that I would be a fitness coach. I was never athletic. I've never taught people. I never thought that I would throw my own events for the queer community, because half of my life I've spent hiding that part of me. So I would say to any creative, allow yourself some grace for all the failures, because it might lead you to something greater that you never thought that it would take you.
I do have one more thing I just remembered.
Yes.
So, part of the podcast is I'm kind of doing my research on people. What that basically means is that I'm scrolling on Instagram.
Stalking, yeah.
a little bit. There's something I discovered that I thought was really amazing, and I thought it would be cute to bring it up. What would you say, dear future Krista?
Oh my God. This is a throwback. That's crazy. I forgot that I used to do this stuff.
Look in any of the cameras and tell yourself.
Oh, man. Dear future Krista, you have everything you need right in front of you. You have the power within you to do whatever you want. You've come so far in your creativity. You've become a DJ. You're throwing events for the queer community. You're helping people with their strength and longevity to live their life. You have the power within you to do anything you want. So whatever goal that you have for the future that you don't think might be it, if you have sort of a feeling that you want to unlock some sort of other interests that you're in, just go for it. You've done so much. You could do this one too.
All right. Thank you so much for being here, Krista, aka Nastily. We're
me.
so happy to have you here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to Music City, Star Factory in San Francisco for having us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.